Man, what is that freeze frame right there? Hold on, give it a sec. There we are. I look like the slap chop guy. Now that I'm seeing myself, I got a little bit of a too much foofed up hair. But anyways, I'm trying to go for the pompadour look, I suppose. Or what's left of it. So anyways, welcome everyone to Petey Aprendendo Português. It's the next day. I say that all the time. I don't know why. There's nothing else. I guess I'm kind of awkward with that. So anyways, what am I getting at? Yeah, so, yesterday was the day of remit, which I would say is quite a good day, good symbolic day to just, send in some stuff, send in some needed things that I've been itching to do for a while. And, you know what? I forgot something. Give me a sec. Forgot to do my Finchies. So, okay. Here we go. So, yeah, I'm going to save this for later. So, let's see. 2070 has gone, and we have sent in what we needed to. We remitted what we needed to for the for yesterday. A lot of paperwork stuff. There's also I kind of like this ad for. I don't usually like advertising or like ads and stuff like that, but this is kind of cool. Where they're, just a little something. Oh, jeez, fucking. Wait, hold on. I didn't agree to this. Fuck. Shit. No, not the YouTubes. Fuck. Hold on. Dismiss it. I don't want to watch this. Okay, anyways. That scared the shit out of me. Anyways, yeah. So, that was day 2070, and quite an even number at that. I like the 20, like 2020. It's kind of a echo of that. And those could be the only numbers we see in the coming years of our life as is, as I am. And I'm thinking the year of 2071 is going to be a different tone of day. And also, maybe the year might be. It might be, I finally admit to myself that, I'm resigning in whatever part, era, chapter of my life in terms of passing the flame on. I don't know if that means I'm passing on per se, but if I am, and that's it, my resignation, hopefully not of life, but maybe of something that I once saw as important. Because as you get older, you just kind of let things go. Because who cares? We only got one life, and small things that make us feel happy, sometimes that's more important. And really thinking about how life is fleeting, just to hold on to what you can. So, as we dive into today, the theme and tone will be the day of resign for 2071 days on the day streak. Let's do our best, and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, here we go. So I guess the stakes are pretty low for right now. So speaking is up for, I guess we'll start with the speaking, because that's what's going to get us to, we'll do 2 speakings in a row, even though we don't really need it. Let's do 2 speakings, and then we'll just continue as our usual programming. So let's do
O evento está bem organizado.
O evento está bem organizado. Is well organized. Well organized event.
Preciso ter sorte para bom dia.
Preciso ter sorte para bom dia. Preciso. I need luck to have a good day.
Quem pode entrar em contato com a pizzaria amanhã?
Quem pode entrar em contato com a pizzaria amanhã? Who can get in touch with the pizzeria tomorrow?
Filmar a festa.
Filmar a festa. Film the party. Filmar a festa. Film the party.
Você pode me passar o endereço do site da festa?
Can you pass me the address of the site of the party? Você pode me passar o endereço do site da festa? Can you send me the address to the party?
Precisamos de espaço por causa das mesas.
We need space for the tables. Preciso de espaço por causa das mesas. We need space because of the tables.
Eu comprei um anel lindo para ela.
Eu comprei um anel lindo para ela. Eu comprei um anel. I bought a beautiful ring for her.
Quero saber se o correio é rápido.
Quero saber se o correio é rápido. I want to know if the postal service is quick. Speaking of resigning at a specific thing, spoiler alert. That's what today is also about. The day itself. In 2016, the present day, I put in my 2 weeks notice for my job. It has to do with postal. Not that I'm going to go postal, but, you know, it's in the same field. And it's kind of a melancholy day, I'll admit. But we'll get into it in a sec.
Tenho que fazer o bolo para amanhã.
Tenho que fazer o bolo para amanhã. I have to make the cake for tomorrow.
Falta planejar as atividades.
Falta planejar as atividades. We still need to plan the activities. Practice complete. And let's see that day streak. What day are we on? And boom. 2,071 days on the day streak. Keeping that flame going. Keeping it alive. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Man, 2,071 days on the day streak. So let's get that double dopamine hit. Jaqueta was the last one. I don't like that pop up on the bottom, but that's all right. That's all right. Bow, bow, bow. There we go. Claim some cheesy peas. Give me that sugar. So we're almost. Well, we earned some vital XP for the day. And boom, 2071. What a beautiful day. I think about how much time has passed and how much time, and this whole 2000 thing has been like starting at 2000, it started with nostalgia. I hate how this fucking freezes. The camera sucks. It's just fucking choppy. I need to get a dedicated streaming laptop or something to, I guess, enhance the streaming experience. Because the what I got going on right now. But anyways, I'm not going to vent about that. I was really talking about some important stuff. But let's get that triple dopamine hit. There we go. Committed. 8 minutes. We are closer to our path. We're definitely going to get 20 out of 50. I think we might get halfway by tomorrow. Boom. We haven't even completed a full week into the May quest, which is insane, you know, and we're almost halfway. So we're pretty dedicated, I'll say. That might be a record. But yeah, it's so yeah, I resigned from my job. And honestly, like last year, I resigned from my job working at the bank, at the call center, and I felt like nostalgic, melancholy, but I fucking hated it, right? And here we are again. Like, I don't like the job at times. It's better than being blamed for a death threat, but you know, it's crazy how, like, even just like you get along with your team, your friends, family, etc., people that you work on the job with. And it's just, there are times where we butt heads, there are times where like things are miserable and we fucking hate each other. But then it's just like, at the end of it, it doesn't matter because it happened. And that's in the past, and now it'll never be. And I probably should have taken some time to really... I did. Honestly, the last couple of weeks, it was like, I'm never going to see this again. And I've been saying to, I probably shouldn't, but I shouldn't have, but to customers, that I went to calls for, to jobs for, I told them, like, hey, this might be the last time I'm here. So, it's been real. It's been great. And, that type of acknowledgement, and I suppose resignation in a sense could mean that you're giving up. But it also means like, you're moving on to the next chapter of your life, whatever that'll be. And hopefully when it's 2071, I'll still be alive. And hopefully I'll be fully present and look back on my life without regret. That when I decide to, hang up the jacket, so to speak, hang up the polo shirt, so to speak, that it was all not as bad as I was making it out to be, and it was okay. So yeah, that's the theme of today. I don't mean to be like, this was me the whole day, and I'm gonna feel like this for the whole 2 weeks that my 2 weeks notice is gonna be for. I don't feel ready. Like, I don't feel like I want to move on to. Don't get me wrong, the job I'm moving on to is gonna be paying a lot more, but I hope it's not miserable. Because I did this before where I moved on to a position that was more consistent pay, better benefits, etc., a pathway to something. And it sucked. That was the credit union job, and I don't talk to anybody from that job. Maybe a couple of guys that, I keep in touch with here and there. Not anybody from the call center part of it, but from the internship and like the summer program that was going on there. Nobody else. I feel like everybody else there hates my fucking guts. And it goes to show, I can be a bit much, and that's okay. As long as we touch base and keep the flame alive and try to see, just keep talking anyways. Honestly, I just kind of am fine with talking to a wall and expecting no response. I'll just keep talking, man. Honestly, I kind of want to send my messages to like a timer and just be like, all right, send it. All right, send it on this date. All right, send it on this date. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. It's been a bittersweet day. Like the positive, it's like, ooh, new opportunities, more money, all this, I'm not going to have to like, spend $2,000 on car payments because I just put like 50,000 miles on my fucking car. My insurance might go down in a year, boring grown up shit. And then it's like, then I'm going to miss my friends. I'm going to miss my coworkers. I loved my team. And, we kind of had a group chat. Like, I got a hand in my work phone that I got so accustomed to using. I got a hand in all my tools. I got a hand in all my gear. And it's gonna suck. It's really gonna suck having to do that. Because that means that's it, and then there's no going. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done good enough where they'll probably hire me back if there was an opening. Problem is, corporate layoffs and, downsizing. That might never happen. And who knows? maybe my friend, my teammates, will stay there along with whoever my replacement's going to be. So maybe that door will close. And I have other ambitions too in my life. Of course, I'm a musician first. I don't know. I'm not Mr. Fix-It. But it's interesting, though. I feel like, we all think of ourselves as the main character at times, because we've got a first-person perspective. And like if I were to put it into like a Pokemon type, it's like as a kid, I was like, any kid will like Pikachu. Any kid will like Charmander or Charizard because, they're the fire type. That's the fiery, passionate thing. Some people like Squirtle. Some people like Bulbasaur. But for me, I was more of like a fire or electric type. Like the Natsu from Fairy Tail in a manner of speaking. Who could use like the fire element, electric, very, very active, aggressive, supercharged kind of like gun ho, like yeah, fuck this shit, I'm gonna take on the world. And I've honestly lost that for years. I still don't have it. I've been kind of a filthy casual with everything. I think I hit a brick wall maybe around 2015. That energy was just sucked away from me. In a form of resignation. Like a Dementor. That sucking of the, not in a weird way, but like, the soul was just kind of drawn out of me. And devoid of, now I'm devoid of character. Don't get me wrong, I still have some. There's still a flicker. There's still a spark. That's all you need is a spark of hope in order to, a little keeping the flame going to ignite things. But people call it matured. I feel like it's a lame duck, flaccid penis way of a fucking personality sometimes. I don't know. Rage Cage, if you're still watching this, I get it. You want to be, an active, like, yeah, fucking Super Saiyan, fuck yeah, living life. But, it's got its fucking ups and downs, and you get manic over it, it fucking kills you. It is. It's not a stable way of going about it. Maybe that's why it's considered mature, because you need something consistent to be a rock. Maybe that's more of me. Maybe I'm more of an earth element. Maybe I always was, hence the name. Hence my actual given name means rock. Yeah. Rock. But, I mean, I've got earthbender hands, like that kind of square, like, I don't know. If you look up a chart of like Avatar The Last Airbender hands, you've got the elongated hands. That's like kind of how the water tribe is, etc., etc. I think Naya has waterbender hands. And of course, she's like, I think her name literally means Lady of the River. So we're the world, baby. We're rocking the world, yeah. That's why she likes my baby blue eyes, because it reminds me of her calling. And sorry, just the this has been kind of a real talk. I haven't really had much time or availability to vent to that. And I think that's what I'm gonna keep going at. I'm just gonna keep yapping. I don't give a shit if nobody watches this shit, and I bore fucking people. It's my goddamn show. I do what I want. It's the PD. That's me. It's all about me. I'm kidding. Like, I mean, it is, but it's like, it's one of those things though. Like, you could say the most offensive. That's like, There's like a not a screw loose, but just something damaged my brain over the years that like I can't get my thoughts out, and I say things like very layman's termy, like I can't even elaborate myself. So it comes off as the most offensive way of saying it, like me and I'm gonna dip into this a little bit. Me justifying like, oh yeah, if you're just a racist. Let me clarify. Everything is racist. Now it's like, because now everything is racist, everyone has the capacity to be racist. And now that everybody is racist, therefore no one is. So what is racism? Like, do I agree with like having separate drinking fountains? No, that's fucking stupid. You know, like real talk. And that, I think, like a couple episodes ago, that's what my explanation was. It's like, if I'm caught off, and I don't give a shit. This is like assuming if I'm ever going to be famous, which might have never happened. Don't get me wrong. I'm handsome as heck. I don't want to get too arrogant, but I do have like the kind of the look of, or potential of being that. As far as like discipline and devotion to this whole thing, and I just learned today that devotion is more of a everybody wins type of situation where you're devoted. Like I'm devoted. I'm not just disciplined to Duolingo. I'm devoted to it because of Naya, which I think is way better than discipline. So anywho, that's a big chunk of what I'm trying to get across. Like justifying, like the stinging label of, you know, somebody being accused as racist. It's like, I guess that's just everyone now. You know, nothing means, if everyone's super, no one is. If everyone's racist, then no one is. And if I call myself a racist, does it really mean anything anymore? Who gives a shit? And if I have racist opinions that are, any opinion that I could have about anybody could be deemed as racist. So therefore, it's almost like an Ouroboros, like it doesn't matter. And because that's so muddled, actual racist people get a pass and actually slither in and come in. So that, anyways, like Nick Cannon. You know? only corrected when it came to a specific group. And only canceled when it was a specific group, not the, you know, degenerates from the mountains of Caucasus or whatever, you know. And he has a position of power. Like if we want to do the redefinition of what racism means, he's in a position of power. He's a celebrity, has been since the 90s, and has, you know, used it to slander. Is that not racist by the new definition? Using it to, you know, go against a specific... I mean, the old sense is like there is a superiority complex. And I have friends that have that. And I try talking them out of it. It's like, dude, it's like, we get it. You know, you want to date a chick in Poland. I get it. You know, I looked up the charts of like, you know, certain statistics that Polish women have. It's like, okay, I agree with that part. And if you know, you know. But it's like, dude, you have to... They got baddies in Latin America too. I know. And a lot of them are sweet. Well, I don't know if a lot of them are. And that's the other thing too. Trying to find a mate, it's fucking hard. They'll ghost you. They'll slander you. They'll talk shit about you. And you don't even have to, like, be romantically interested in order to do that, to be honest. And I'm just going to say that as is. I digress from that point. But I guess what I was saying earlier is that, like, you know, the 2000s started like, oh, everybody remembers the 90s. Everybody remembers the 2000s. You know, then there's 2010. It's like, oh, yeah, that felt like yesterday. Now we're in the 2020s. We're more than halfway through the 2020s. Okay, we're caught up. Now it's 2026 in the day streak. everything we did up until this point has been like a year past, I don't know, the birth of Christ. That's insane. That's AD, after death. I think that's what that acronym means. AD. I know they want to redefine it as before common time or something. Bullshit. You know, I don't know. I agree with Neil deGrasse Tyson on that thing. Sometimes he can be a little bit much when it comes to being dismissive of certain things. Oh yeah, I forgot that Yoda. So, okay, that might get copy stricken. I looked up Yoda because I wanted to. I don't know if I said that in May the 4th.
Do or do not.
Oh, you know what? I could have done describe furniture in Portuguese and get that done. Yeah, well. I'll do a speaking. We'll just finish it up. We'll have this rant session in a minute. Let's just finish this up.
Ela me
contou que baixou... Fuck you. Ela me contou que baixou o filme errado. My finger actually slipped. She told me that she downloaded the wrong movie. Costumávamos ver filmes clássicos juntos. We customarily used to watch classic movies together.
O que você assistiu anteontem?
O que você assistiu anteontem? Did you watch The Day Before Yesterday?
Filme dramático.
Filme dramático. A dramatic film. That was a very dramatic way to say it.
Nós
quase sempre víamos filmes estrangeiros. We almost watched foreign movies.
Você vinha
para ver aquela série antiga.
Ele recomenda filmes policiais para todos.
Ele recomenda filmes policiais para todos. He recommends crime movies to everyone.
A política sempre me pareceu complicada.
A política sempre me pareceu complicada. Politics has always seemed complicated to me.
Ela está cansada de séries longas.
Ela está cansada de séries longas. She is tired of long
Ontem
series.
assisti a filme de suspense incrível.
Ontem assisti a filme de suspense incrível. Yesterday I watched an amazing suspense movie. Alright, we extended our streak, which we kept the stakes low for. So, I guess we just did that. Honestly. I could just do double XP for today and talk about my feelings for the rest of it. Because I'll get into 8th place, ruffle some feathers, right? And then what, you know? And also, I don't want to waste this. Describe furniture in Portuguese. I might take a couple beats to just say, I don't want to waste the double XP. Or, depending on what happens in the future, I'm trying to get back up to 30,000 gems. But it's obviously going to take a long time. And that is tempting to get if I just do this one. Very tempting. How come the most easy, speaking 12 exercises, right? It's the I would assume that's the easiest one if you have Super Duo. And I'm always excited for that. Because then I don't have to work as hard to get double XP. But of course, if we're stuck at an impasse where it's describe furniture in Portuguese, lesson 6 of 6, now I'm stuck, doing all this other stuff. We do have a new word to learn, so let's do that one. Market.
Mercado.
Near.
Perto daqui.
There is.
Tem. Ei.
Hey.
Perto daqui.
Near here?
Malcriado.
Naughty.
Com certeza.
With certainty.
A pé.
On foot.
Barato.
is inexpensive.
Fácil.
Easy.
Aula.
Aula is class.
Tem.
There is.
Passeio.
Passeos, outing.
Mercado.
Market.
Ei.
Hey.
Assinatura.
Subscription. Affy. I love Affy. Without. Hey. Shortest. Breve. Package. Pacote. On foot. Ape. Give. Down. Bridge. Ponte. Market. Mercado. Tasty. Saboroso is tasty. Pool. Piscina. There is. Name. Easy. Mercado. Easy is fácil. Market. Mercado. Inexpensive. Barato. Affy. Near here. Perto daqui. Outing. Paseo. Naughty. Malcriado. Certainly. Com certeza. Klaus. Aula. Medium. Medio. Subscription. Assinatura. Which I don't like subscriptions. Kind of locks you into a way of being. So just like that, we're in 8th place. It's turning out to be kind of an easy-ish week. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Maybe, I don't know, I might regret that. You know, like let me just double check something. I'm going to go to acknowledge some friend stuff. 5 friend quests in a row, very good. 55 for... Here's the thing, I'm trying to get my friend quest, set. Finished the top 3 and was promoted to the Pro League. Yay. Rage Cage got 10 lessons done in a day. And me and Kate did great. That's insane. Diamond League 35 times. 7-day streak. Good. Amethyst League for Sarah. How's Sarah doing? Let me just touch base with Sarah. How you doing? Wow, 1149. Holy shit! What are you even learning? Is this a Sarah I know? I feel like I'm losing track of everybody, except for Mother San. I think you know what it is. Like everyone's like completing their stuff, and I don't know. Like I think Kate is a friend of mine IRL. But some of these people are just like, they change their username and their profile picture, and it's like, and also I miss the like just customizable, like, I was very stubborn about putting my thing on here, and I don't even like the facial hair because this looks dumb. Like, I don't want to look like a goddamn Mormon or Mormon Amish. And this looks dumb too. Like I don't have a big ass beard like that, and I don't have it makes my face look fucking weird. Expression. And I'm not gonna like make myself mega chub. Even though I do look kind of fat, the shape of my face is actually quite handsome and adorable. And I don't look like a thick bitch. I don't look skinny. I'm just gonna put myself as like whatever. I'm fine with, it's kind of like the me customizations. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, like, I jumped up. Okay, never mind. Look at this. Already, I ruffle some feathers as I continue this path. But the 16th place person has got 80 XP. I think we'll be fine. Rest of the week, it might be one of those like rat races to the end, to the finish line. But if we do, statistically, 100 a day, we might be okay. Because I placed pretty low last week. I think it was 13th place. I could be the famous last words, but if I get 100 tomorrow, it'll be fine. And also, I felt kind of depressed today. I'm talking myself out of working harder. I think that is where I'm at right now. It's kind of an emotional, vulnerable day, talking about deep stuff like this, I never really do that too often. I can't, Because, like, even, like, it's hard for me to, like, be, like, I do have a lot of empathy, even though sometimes I don't show it, I just freeze up. So, you know, and I guess it kind of comes off as robotic, because that's been my only learned behavior in terms of, like, dealing with stress. It's kind of like a bunny rabbit when they keep a straight face even though they're fucking panicking on the inside. That's me. That's why I love bunnies. I can relate with them so much. They're so cute. Oh yeah, we not only is it Cinco de Mayo, like yesterday was the 4th. Wing flap a day keeps the doctor away. Didn't I say something about keeping the doctor away? But yeah, I did the Galaxy Nomad look for Peep. Boom. 443. So we're going to take a look at whatever the 4th was about. I'm going to turn on that light. Not you. Fucking fuck. All right. Come on. There we go. Chat with him. Oh, shit. 2 paper cups and some string. I found some way you can make a telephone with cups and string cheap. Let's make one and whisper secrets to each other from far away. Why, do you know what secret to tell you? You make this string telephone and whisper a secret into the cup. I'm glad you trust me with your secrets, but I couldn't hear it well. Cheap, can you whisper your secret into my ear instead? He dislikes the string telephone. Alright, well, that's something to dislike. I never liked those either. You know, with Watership Down, and I forget what the pig one was. Oh, Spirited Away and Watership Down. He loved those two. I'm fine with him not liking this one. And I'm for the boho challenge, and I'm gonna just take a look. Ooh. I feel like. Okay. I definitely, the first one I did was sing in the shower, obviously, because it's like I'm a ham. That was yesterday. I was in such a good mood. And maybe that has to do with my mood. You know, I didn't really work out today, and I'm feeling the lows of that. But I'm thinking, learn about the origins of a genre you enjoy. I feel like I studied music. I kind of already know that. So I'm going to count it anyways. Simply because what's the word? Like a genre I enjoy. I guess maybe I'll do, these are kind of the lazy choices because I've really done, a lot of research into ska music specifically. Maybe I'll do some research later on. I did call myself handsome today. I just did it on the stream. Got some sunlight in the morning. You know what? I contacted a company that I got a subscription for that I've been, doing. I've been neglecting, I suppose. I got a big calendar, which I really wanted to do. Square up with your new job. I sent Amore some money. Naya needed some money for some financial help. I didn't mean to say that publicly. Oopsie. But, finish some really complicated stuff for today. And we got a gift from Berry Boo. Let's take a look. I thought of you. Oh my! Oh, she's got a purple lightsaber. I'm inviting you to stay over. Thanks for buying my love. And a red veggie window. All right. Of course, she got me red. I'm gonna claim that. I'm gonna send gratitude because she's wonderful. A gift from Owl. Oh my God, Devin. Oh my God. I'm not gonna invite you over though. I love you, but black rice onigiri. Holy shit. Holy shit. Man, I am so... Finch is 5 years old. Let's party. I said yes immediately. Wow. I'm going to tell her to... I'm going to say sweet dreams because it is the night. Yeah. I'm kind of resting on my laurels here. I could maybe do one more lesson. Maybe we'll do one more lesson. I'm gonna shut up right now. You know, we could talk about our feelings all day. But, you know, if we get more, I'm gonna just double check and see how the XP is going. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. I don't know, famous last words. I can maybe get into... I've got like... I don't know, a couple minutes left. Let's just do a speaking. Você quer comer dentro ou fora? Quando chega o correio? Vai cancelar se chover? Vai cancelar se chover? You're going to cancel if it rains. Ela é sempre pessimista quando chove. Vamos mudar por causa da chuva. We're going to change because of the rain. Vamos ficar dentro por causa da chuva. Quase terminamos de arrumar a mesa. Você tem coco para a festa? Usar emojis. Use the emojis. Usar emojis. Vocês conhecem pratos da Indonésia? Do you know any Indonesian dishes? Yes, I do. Alright, so, yeah, technically we're in 9th place, but we're not too far behind the 8th place person. Perfect spot to be in. I think it's also a perfect spot to be done for the day. You know, I really... Oh, you know what? Ironically enough, we had like less than a minute left at the end. So it kind of worked out in the end. And it's all about the friends we made along the way, too. That's kind of a cool deal. So, with 30 seconds going, we are living our lives for the better. And, yeah. You know, as far as resigning... Ooh, you know what? I got something for Finch to look at, too. And 765432. Done for the day. And just like that, you know, we're going to resign for the night, I suppose. But before we do that, let's just hatch this Finchy egg that I got with Miss Rainbow. Mimi Mushi. It's so stupid. It's such a dumb thing. You know, I gotta say, oh, yo, a jetpack, a blue jetpack, yo, I want that. How come all the cool stuff happens at the same time? It's not fair. I guess I'll worry about this in a bit. Yo, I'm getting the jetpack, though. I'm getting that goddamn jetpack. I'm equipping him. It's also Cinco de Mayo. You know, the Spanish didn't, like, the Mexicans didn't give up on their independence, but here I am resigning from my job. What a world. What a world. So, I guess that's pretty much all she wrote, kids. Let's take a look at this flame one last time. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about our feelings, so to speak. But this is pretty much the epilogue. This is the ending. We're going to resign for the night. So let's take a look at that flame. Boom. 2071. 2071. Are we going to make it? Like, I say resignation. It's like, hopefully that doesn't mean my life. Or maybe it's just other ambitions that I had when I was younger. Like now. I'm youngish still. ish. It's a big ish. But still, very much I don't know, melancholy, sad. It's hard to move on from, I guess, an allyship of any kind, friendship of any kind, and just how there's, hopefully it's like there are no hard feelings, of course, but sometimes that happens. But luckily, from my resignation and the job that I submitted for today, it's everybody was congratulatory and thankful and for all that I've done, and it feels nice. Can't say that it'll happen all the time, but you try your best, and it's one of those you gotta ride your heelys in order to escape your feelies sometimes. Sometimes you just want to take a nap, and then when you finally take a moment to rest, it's like, oh shit, what have I been doing my whole life? It gets pretty surreal, man. So, it's that's pretty much all I have for today. Unless if I don't know. I think I pretty much covered everything. How do you think 2071 is going to go for you guys? Like any ideas, any comments? Do you think it's just this like are we all, obviously all of us might not be here. And in that year, hopefully I have plenty more. If the bunny made it this long, holy shit. I've been worried about Bean's health, and he's a handsome boy. And he's been pooping loose. Too much information, I know, but I just want to make sure he's okay. Giving him mostly fiber now, as how I should probably treat my own diet. And but other than that, it's been kind of a good day, Had a nice install, met some nice people, drove home. I think I just did one call. Did I? No, I went to another place just to check in, touch base. And when you resign from a job, it's the best 2 weeks to just coast. Not necessarily like work hard and burn too much cortisol stress. Burn yourself from cortisol and all that. But just, this is it. Not in a rebellious way of like, yeah, fuck this. I'm gonna be, defiant in a way. It's more so like, yeah. And maybe that's a form of resignation. Just being okay with things blowing up around you. I feel like I've kind of resigned my I don't know, for now. Hopefully I'm not too, I know people have been throwing the word aloof around. But literally aloof in the nature, not as something careless, but just really sincerely, without worry, the true definition of Hakuna Matata, which is not a Disney-owned phrase. I know that's going to get me, even mentioning the big cheese himself could get me flagged or copy stricken, but it literally came from Kenya. It's a phrase from a culture. You can't just appropriate that and sue somebody over that. Like a country, they can't write songs about their own phrase that they made. That's a little fucked up. I guess maybe I am passionate about some things still. I still got some fire in me. I still got the flame of some sort. There's still a spark there. But maybe by 2071, there might not be. Maybe things will come full circle, and I could actually just kind of look back and enjoy and just be like, yeah, I did what I did, and that's it. and that's okay. And it's a bit scary looking at the abyss of the unknown. If it's the precipice of like the end of my life potentially, and I don't want it to be. I don't think anybody does. I'm hopeful that I live another 30, 40 years after that point in 2071. That would be a miracle. Yeah, so maybe I'll focus on longevity specifically and just not have any room for any poison, any toxicity, cortisol sources, just really just keeping true. It's hard though. It's I as much as I scoff at community, when you have like, I guess community in the sense of like a big cult of personality, but when you just have a bunch of chuckleheads with like kind of different ways of going about things, it's kind of nice. Different walks of life kind of come together. Mental diversity is what I prefer. And, getting a little bit of that is healthy. A little bit. If everything's so wishy-washy that nothing is well-defined at all, then it's like, all right, well, where do I sink my feet into? I suppose that's the earth element in me. I need some sort of stable footing here in order to go from there. But, when things end, it's tough. And I sometimes feel like life happens like a Band-Aid and just rips, pulls up all your hairs on your arm, and it stings. You lose like the first couple of layers of skin. And sometimes it's a gentle, all right, I'll get this adhesive off in the shower and soften it. Sometimes you have time for the transition and emotional processing of things. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just have to keep moving forward. And, yeah. Like, sometimes, like in this instance, I've got 2 weeks to kind of work things out emotionally. At the same time of like, my parents are coming home after a long vacation. I had to get rid of my grandma's kitchen table that she wanted my sister to have, or I don't know, my sister wanted. And it's like, well, man, I've had this thing in my house for almost 2 years. And it's just, that's it. There goes that era. And then, yeah, resignation, year anniversary after the death threat. And then, scrambling to find a new job to then finding this job that I'm now leaving. Do I just continue to hop jobs after a year and just trying to find higher pay and finding my worth? Or do I finally, admit to myself that I am capable and just try to stand on my own 2 feet while ignoring the judgment and harsh criticism that I have in the peanut gallery? I hope someday I can ignore the peanut gallery. Because it's part of why having an online presence, no matter how small, it's sometimes it can be demoralizing. And I just, one negative comment in the past used to like ruin my day. And sometimes it still does. The condescension really sucks. And sometimes you just got to get numb to it. Sometimes you just have to, suck through the rejection sensitivity and resign that part of yourself that was once, tied to the identity of things. It's thick skin sucks. I had somebody in college say, "Oh, you need thicker skin." It's like, no, you need to be more fucking callous. You need to be less fucking callous, okay? You need to actually like listen to where I'm coming from. You're being a dick to a 19-year-old, a kid. You know, we can measure dicks later, but it's like, obviously I'm a fucking kid. You know, and you have to get a fucking... And that's part of why I left, why the left eats its own, because you can nitpick every single harsh detail and shortcoming of someone that you don't agree with to an extreme extent, and then just fucking like a hawk get every fucking thing that they say and totally lamify or nitpick. Nitpick is the better word. Nitpick everything that they've ever done and audit every single part of them. And you could do that. And if you do that, you've probably been to a community college band class a little fucking too much to learn that art of condescension and elitism. And I guess it takes a group, I suppose, that a specific kind of village, which you know, hopefully someday, you know, I don't know if push will come to shove. Maybe it already has. Maybe I've resigned the desire to want to be a part of something. Maybe that's a part of it too. But it's still hard when you find something and a group of people that really accept you. Even if it's just two other guys. And you know, you have to say goodbye. Sorry, man. It's like when Ash ends every season, and this is why it fucking sucks that Ash Ketchum, this is a Pokemon thing, is fucking gone. I had this conversation with somebody. It's like, oh, he's been in it for 30 years. After 30 years, it's like, yes, after 30 years. He's still not a master yet. Like, he won champion. Who gives a shit? There's still ultra space. Fuck you. Like, plus, it's like, oh, he's going to stay 10 forever? Yeah, preferably. Is SpongeBob going to stay like a 20-something man-child for the rest? Yeah, I hope so. You know? Like, I get it. Codenamed Kids Next Door had to end with, you know, them finally becoming teenagers and no longer being kids. But not every story has to end like that. Sometimes it just, you know, if it goes on and on and on forever, who gives a shit? Really, who cares? It's fake. Maybe that's kind of the whole point. Maybe that's the whole reason why resignation is a wisdom point in my older age. Maybe life is fake. Maybe it is a simulation, and maybe when I die, it's like, oh yeah, why was I worried about that shit? Did I want to play this narrative in my life that like bunnies and music and busty, you know, Latinas, because it's kind of funny, where it's like, ooh, bunnies. Oh, I like bunnies. You know, just being that kind of guy, because that's how I am with bunny rabbits. They're so fucking cute, and that's just gonna be my personality. And anybody who's like, rabbit, they're good in a soup. And then I'm like, you know, you're ruining it. But I'm not going to react to this, because who gives a shit about what the fuck you think? Anyways, I'm pretty much at my last rope right now. 2071. I'm gonna mean it for real this time. It's almost been a full freaking hour since I started streaming. And you know what? I don't regret it. I was going to do 2 workouts today, but I decided not to because I was depressed. But Duolingo made it a little better. Maybe I should have done this a little earlier, but I'll be fine, I guess. So let's take a look at this flame one last time. Boom. 2071. I'm looking at this with nostalgia, like... You know, the part in Kingdom Hearts 2 where, like, Sora meets Hayner, Pence, and Olette, and, like, just a single teardrop, but he can't explain why. Like, is that going to be it? Like, is it going to be like the last episode of The Adventure of Finn and Jake with Adventure Time? Where they, like, pass on to the next life? Oh, man. That makes me so sad. But I suppose that's symbolic to resignation. I really don't want to manifest death. I really don't. I'm just sad that I'm in a new that I'm going to be starting a new chapter of my life, and I'm closing out the last chapter. Maybe this is the year I actually, come to terms. Like, remit was yesterday, which would be yesteryear 2070. Maybe resign is officially where I emotionally catch up to that, where it's like, okay, I've passed the torch. It's in your hands now, young hero. So with that being said, 2,071 days on the day streak. Hopefully I become a little bit wiser at that point. But until then, muito obrigado por assistir. Boa noite. Ciao, ciao for now. And remember, every ending is a new beginning.
The song has restored my strength.
Petey, 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 Petey.